Stellar Blade is one of the best 7 out of 10 games that I've played, and that also wears its inspirations on its shoulders like brown on rice, while also not being so subtle about its story elements. We play as a android, hybrid human, or just an android. It's not really all that clear, it's kind of confusing. We play as a hybrid android robot person named Eve, while linking up and joining forces with a person named Adam, while fighting infected humanoids who turn into these grisly monsters named TBs, with gameplay inspired by Sekiro and its presentation inspired by Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. This game truly is a mixed bag of really great, cool, neat stuff and other meh, where pretty bad stuff. Like having great gameplay and a fun, rewarding, and addicting combat system, with an amazing banger-ass soundtrack from its combat music to its non-combat environmental music, which I personally think is honestly superior. I mean, don't get me wrong, the combat music amazing, but just like roaming around like the wasteland or the great desert or even IDOS 7, oh man, the vocals, I'll get into that in a minute, while also telling a very uninspired generic story with very bland meh characters. Like I said, y'all, Stellar Blade, a pretty mixed bag for me. That's basically what I'm here to talk to you all about today, ladies and gents, everyone, in this new Ramble review, this time around for Stellar Blade. What is going on, ladies and gents? My name is Malcolm, also known as Baytuh, and today, like I said, I bring you all a brand new Ramble review for Stellar Blade this time around. Basically, what a Ramble review is, how I would describe it, is basically I take a game that I like, dislike, somewhere in between, and I go more in depth with all those likes and dislikes and whatnot than I did it back in my TLDR reviews that I usually do for my walkthroughs at the end of my walkthroughs, where I go in depth with the gameplay, the story, the characters, the world, the music, all that in between, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the masterful, the dog shit, like I said, all in between. I just ramble on about it. Sometimes there's a script, sometimes there's not. If you're wondering if there's a script for this video, Ramble review video, there's not. I am freeballing it, but I know what to say, all the points I want to get across and whatnot. And yeah, I just have a joyful old time talk about a good game, and this time around, a good game, Stellar Blade, yeah, a good game. Not Game of the Year material, but that's just my personal opinions. All of this is just my personal opinion. Please don't get mad at me. I've seen the discourse, which I'll get into a little bit, but Jesus Christ, y'all, just give it a break. Anyways, before we continue and get started with this Ramble review, if you guys like what you saw, please leave a like, subscribe, and it helps with the channel a lot when you do. Hit that notification bell, turn on notifications, set them to all so you don't miss out on anything I post on this channel. Please share my channel and my videos so all your friends, families, cats, and dogs, and whoever not. And you guys can all follow me on Twitter at Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H. If you want to keep supporting me even further, you can do that by donating to my Patreon, PayPal, YouTube Super Thanks, leaving a tip, or becoming a YouTube member on my channel. That is patreon.com/Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H, and or paypal.me/Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H, and or through YouTube Super Thanks. All you have to do is click on any one of my videos or monetized, which is 99.9% of them. Then hit that little more heart thanks button to donate however much you want. All those links are in the description down below, and that's a pinned comment in the comment section down below as well. 100% optional as well. So yeah, with all that being said and this very long intro out of the way, without further ado, everyone, let's get started. Alrighty, let's start with the gameplay, arguably the best part of Stellar Blade. Like I said during my intro, the gameplay, the combat system is actually pretty great. It's fun and addicting while providing rewarding moments when you execute a perfect dodge or perfect parry to set up a fatal blow, or retribution as it's called in this game, and stylistically, did I pronounce that right? Stylistically take down your enemy Sekiro style, which is interesting, and sorry for this little rant within this much bigger rant of a review, but when this game was first showed off, when it was still Project Eve, and even after that with all of the press previews, was I the only one who thought it was going to play like a Devil May Cry or a Ninja Gaiden or Bayonetta? I mean, look at Eve and the way she does a lot of her more flashier moves, and look at the presentation of the game, from its cinematics and character design, and even the freaking bloody bonkers ass awesome music. Does that honestly scream Souls-like, or arcadey action hack and slash. Now look, honestly, I probably would have liked this game a lot more if it was more like Devil May Cry in gameplay instead of Souls, cause to be honest with y'all, while I do love Souls-like or Souls adjacent or whatever the hell you want to call it, I do miss the days of games like Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry, because most of the action hack and slash games that come out nowadays have some type of Souls-like in them, and it's been, I don't know if daunting is the word. I wish there was more, like I said, more arcadey type action hack and slash games. I mean, going off the top of my head, what was the last ones? I mean, last year we had, I'll count Final Fantasy 16. Before that we had what, Solstice and God of War Ragnarok. I would include in that. But in terms of like, you know, the action hack and slash, you know, genre, genre. I mean, it's been like Souls, like you know, Lords of the Fallen, Lies of P, Rise of the Ronin, now with Stellar Blade. I wish there was more of, you know, a balance to the Force, as the hip Star Wars kids like to say. Hey, I'm recording this on May the 4th. What do you want me to do? Now, with all that being said though, the Souls-style combat in Stellar Blade didn't lessen my enjoyment or any of the sorts, and to be honest, I think the mode-to-moment gameplay is up there with Nioh and Sekiro as being the most fun and easier to play in the genre or sub-genre. Yeah, it would be a sub-genre. Like, the genre is action, and like the sub-genre is like, would be like Souls-like and Souls-adjacent, right? I'm not saying that Nioh and Sekiro are easier to play. I mean, definitely not Sekiro. Like, freaking Ishin, like, are you Sword Saint Ishin? Like, come the freaking on. That took me over like an hour or so to freaking beat. Still not the hardest boss I ever faced in the video game. That still goes to Monster Hunter World Nergate. Took me over 3 hours to beat that fucking dragon. That shit was so unfair, Capcom. But on the real talk, Stellar Blade is up there as being one of the easier types of Souls-like to play. I mean, not only does it have difficulty settings, which I think all Souls-likes, Souls games should have. I mean, all video games should have in general, I think. But the tools of destruction that Shift Up gives you to utterly destroy your enemies, like using your beta skills like Triplet, which helps you take away your enemy's balance, or the self-explanatory Shield Breaker. If we want to get even crazier and stylish with Eve's moves, we have burst skills like Tempest, which reminds me a lot of one of Virgil moves from Devil May Cry. Hell, even Eve has her own Devil Trigger-like ability called Takimo. Even the range attacks in this game does decent enough damage against enemies and bosses. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Gameplay is king, and the developers over at Shift Up made Stellar Blade's gameplay just that, king. Alrighty, this next section is probably going to be the easiest one and the shortest one in this rambling review, and that's the music. The soundtrack in this game is phenomenal. It's amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nominated at the Game Awards for the best music of the year. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually wins. Like, it's pretty freaking phenomenal. It gives you that, you know, I mean, for me at least, it gives me those moments where I'm like, it's like, I don't know, God, this is gonna sound so corny and dumb, but it's like I'm like, I don't know, my body, but like my soul is like jumping out of my freaking chest. I'm like, oh man, I'm like in it. I'm in it during these battles, even though it plays like a Souls like. I can't go all, you know, super actiony, like, but still, like, I want to vibe and jive with this boss battle music. But yeah, from, you know, like just facing, you know, regular enemies on the ground, the music there is amazing. The boss battle music is freaking phenomenal. Like from Raven, like the Raven boss battle music is probably my favorite. But in all honesty, I think the I was about to say the Overlord. Sorry, it was a good anime. I only watched the first 2 seasons, and season 1's amazing. Season 2 not so much. But the Overworld music I think it's a little bit superior. Like, not only it has just the beautiful vocals that go along with it, it's just vibing, just straight up vibing. From listening to the soundtrack from The Wasteland, I-7, The Great Desert, like just traveling from these places, from place to place to each waypoint, it's just, you know, even though I had my issues with the open world, I think it's, you know, pretty bland and whatever, the music makes traveling through these areas a very, you know, pleasant experience. And, you know, again, you pairing it with really great, fun, addicting gameplay, and you pair that with just amazing, beautiful music from, you know, the combat music and the very vibing, just beautiful vocal music and the overworld music of these regions that you visit. It's just a pleasant, nice time. I really enjoy it. It's really dope. Really dope. Moving on to the most underwhelming parts of Stellar Blade, the story and the characters. These two go hand in hand. We have our main protagonist Eve, who has the personality of wet sandpaper and has as much charisma as a bowling ball hitting bowling pins but not getting a strike. We have our main side characters Adam, who was one of the big bads, or was the big bad but turned good because he got tired of being the bad guy, I guess, but can't be the big bad again at the end. And Lily, who's just loud and loves tech. Oh, and yeah, we have everyone else, I guess. The story and setting of this game is something I've seen countless of times in anime and video games, to the point I actually legit called who the main bad guys were within the first hour of the game and what happened to the world, because it's so freaking predictable with little to no twists and turns like the masterpiece game this game is most inspired by, Nier Automata. Alrighty, let's see if I remember this shit correctly. Set on a post-apocalyptic Earth, there were flesh and blood humans who got greedy, they made androids, they fought one another. One of these motherfuckers left Earth, made the colony, aka Mother Sphere, where Eve is from, made human android hybrids, went back to Earth, wiped out most of the humans, and somehow, some way, those humans became the Natibas. All of that is serviceable and fine enough, but having a protagonist who's more reactionary about the revelations she's found and not being the by the book soldier boy style like Eve could have gone a long way. I think Taki seems like she could have been that type of person, or hell, Raven was kind of that person. Throughout the story, we found a bunch of holograms of Raven starting to piece together the truth about Mother Sphere, her origins, and then the Tebas. I mean, we find out that all of the angels, the warriors like Eve and Raven and Taki, they are the android human hybrids. And Raven, she started to question her role in all of this war, and she even started to question Mother Sphere. What Raven does after that? Well, she goes to Adam, aka the elder Natiba, and becomes the unidentified Natiba who kills Taki, unfortunately, in the beginning of the game, or severely hurts her, because we do find Taki later on in the game and we fight her, then she dies. Kind of, same difference. We did start to get that personality pop from Eve, but that wasn't until the point of no return in the game, and for me at least, that was what, 25 hours into Stellar Blade. That's at the end of the game, basically, with like what, 3 or so hours left of the game left. And if you ask me, too little too late. But I guess it wouldn't have worked out all that well, since if someone else was the main protagonist other than Eve, we wouldn't have gotten all those not so subtle biblical references and on the nose symbolism like Adam, Eve, and the snake, and spaceships that look like semen about to penetrate Earth. Like I said at the top, the story and characters aren't bad, just underwhelming. I'm gonna go a step further and say the story and characters are even forgettable, which I guess, depending on how you see it, can be taken as bad, but not just underwhelming and forgettable. Alrighty, let's move on to some wrap-up rambles. Basically, I just ramble off some bullet points, things that I like and dislike. Basically, I don't have to get into, go too in-depth with it. It's like a TLDR, I like this, I dislike this, easy wrap-ups. So let's start with the things that I don't like. There's only 2 or 3 of them. And let's start with number 1. I don't like the platforming in this game. Given how janky Eevee's movement can be when jumping off of stuff, I think is pretty freaking bad. The second thing I don't like is the puzzle solving. It's not that it's hard, it's just annoying and it's terrible for pacing. This game already has some pacing issues. Let's why make it even worse with puzzle solving and platforming? This next one I'm honestly a little bit indifferent on, and it's the world of this game of Stellar Blade. Like I said throughout this rambling review, Stellar Blade is heavily inspired by Nier Automata, not only when it comes to its setting, but characters and some character motivations and plot threads. It's not a little known secret, Nier Automata succeeded masterfully in its narrative storytelling, character motivations, gameplay, all of it, the world, environmental storytelling. Stellar Blade fails on those levels, but it was, half kind of almost there with the environmental storytelling, and I wish it would have went a little bit further with that environmental storytelling. Now, quick things that I really did like in this game is the character designs and the boss designs. The boss design designs are some of the most unique looking bosses I've seen in any freaking video game. Like, though it like mainly like the last gauntlet of bosses, basically when you went to the what's called the orbital defense station, like those bosses not only super hard and really fun to play, but their designs are so freaking rad. And of course the character design, I know, you know, definitely when it comes to Eve, I know there's no, you know, the controversy around Eve, and I'll just say this, like, yeah, Eve, she's a beautiful looking character, but look, y'all, respect the TNA, hell, praise it if need be, like, praise be, long may that ass reign, but don't be creepy and gross about it, which I've seen a lot of people are. Just don't. It's just really gross and creepy. All in all, even though, like I said, this is one of the best 7 out of 10 games I've ever played, I really do hope that we get a sequel of Stellar Blade and Shift Up takes all the lessons that they've learned from this first iteration and iterate on it, like Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and double down on things that worked and improve upon the many things that didn't, like story, characters, the open world, and freaking, you know, fetch quest side quests, to puzzle solving and platforming. Alrighty, ladies and gents, that just about does it for this rambling review of Stellar Blade. Thank you all for watching this, and thank you all for joining me for once more. What am I thinking of right now? Once again for another rambling review. There we go. I knew I was like, I got that a little mixed up. But yes, thank you all for joining me for another iteration of rambling review. Much appreciated. I'm starting to get a hang of doing these rambling reviews. They're pretty fun to make. You know, it's very different from the live streams and the full gameplay walkthroughs that, you know, I'm used to doing for the last 11 years now on this channel. But yeah, thank you so much for joining for this, everyone. The content I'm putting out next on this channel, well, we're moving back to gameplay walkthroughs. I have up pretty soon in the next, I think, day or two by the time you guys listen to this, I'll be doing a full gameplay walkthrough of Fallout New Vegas. I haven't played that game since 2013. I think it's my second most watched walkthrough on my channel, right behind Witcher 2. So that's to be really excited getting back to. I want to do a full gameplay walkthrough of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice right before my most anticipated game of the year comes out, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which is at the end of May. I got a few other walkthroughs planned, like maybe some Watch Dogs 2 and whatnot, or excuse me, Watch Dogs 1, since my entirety of Watch Dogs 1 walkthrough got deleted and that's flagged off of YouTube back in 2014, and no one at Machinima and YouTube helped me back then. 10 years later, I'm still pissed off about that. Yeah, and I might be still planning on doing a rambling review on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know if I want to freaking remember that trash heap of a fucking mess of a story of the game. We'll see about that. And I might be doing, planning on still doing a rambling review of Rise of the Ronin. Plus, got some live streams happening throughout May, probably towards the end of May, because next month is June. At the end of June, we have Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I want to do a live stream, some prep live streams for Shadow of the Erdtree. That ought to be pretty exciting and cool. Well, yeah, lots of content, ladies and gents, still planned from now to the end of 2024. So make sure you're subscribed, have that notification bell turned on, make sure you set those notifications to all so you don't miss out on anything I post on this channel. And yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, ladies and gents, everyone, thank you all for watching this, and thank you all for joining me for this rambling review of Stellar Blade. Thank you all for the love and support on my other rambling reviews, on my walkthroughs, on my channel, on my live streams, just basically everything I do on this channel as a whole. Thank you, much appreciated. Before I let you guys all go, if you guys can please leave a like on this video if you guys like what you saw, please subscribe for more content, helps me with this channel a lot. Also, when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that little notification bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content I post on this channel, and make sure you set those notifications to all as well. Please share my channel and my videos to all your friends, families, cats and dogs, and whoever who not, and you guys can all follow me on Twitter at Baytuh, Baytuh. If you want to keep supporting me even further than just subscribing to my YouTube channel, leaving a like, share my channel and my videos to all your friends and families. You can do so by donating to my Patreon, PayPal, YouTube Super Thanks, leaving a tip, or becoming a YouTube member on my channel. That is patreon.com/Baytuh, Baytuh, and or paypal.me/Baytuh, Baytuh, and or through YouTube Super Thanks. All you have to do is click on any one of my videos are monetized, which is 99.9% of them. Then hit that little money heart thanks button to donate however much you want. All of those links are in the description down below, and as a pinned comment in the comment section down below as well. And for the final time for my Stellar Blade Rambles review, and probably Stellar Blade in general, my name is Malcolm, also known as Baytuh, and I will catch you guys all on my next walkthrough, Let's Play, channel post update, Rambling review, or basically whatever else I do next on this channel, which is very, very, very soon. Peace, thank you all for watching, and I love you all.